before we get started, I want to cover 3 quick things. The first is that during the video, I did not have my mic working properly, so it was just the on-camera mic. The camera was suction cup mounted to the glass, so it'll be a bit louder for you watching the video than it actually was for me in the vehicle. Second thing is I actually had Quinn, one of the Tesla employees, riding along with me, so you may notice him there with me. And then finally, a lot of the phrases, a lot of things I say are relating the new Model Y to the Model 3 refresh, the Model 3 Highland. And that's actually a really good thing. The Model 3 refresh is a very impressive upgrade over the old car. So while I don't actually end up comparing it as much to the old Model Y, that's because it's so similar in terms of an upgrade to the refresh Model 3 in terms of the size and scale of the upgrade. So with that, let's get into it. So this is one of the first Teslas with a front camera. The Cybertruck was the only other one that has it so far. And I almost went, like my new Model 3, I almost went to change to activate the blinker from the steering wheel, but that's not the case with this one. It is a physical blinker. It's a very thin blinker. So like the upgraded Model 3, initially I'm already finding that it is quieter, even just getting rolling. I made a basically identical video to this when the new Model 3 came out, and yeah, it's very quiet. The suspension both feels stiff, but also like smooth. I don't know how to describe that yet. I'm gonna now I've heard that a little bit of the car without AC. I'm gonna switch into reverse to let this guy pass by. Turn off that camera. While we're waiting here, I'm just briefly going to play a little bit of audio to see how the sound system sounds. Let me make sure the levels are even. Yep. Yeah, this car has a great audio system. Tesla's, every Tesla I've ever owned, just at a baseline, has a great audio system, and that seems to be only getting more true. The upgraded Model 3, again, better sound deadening, better audio, and same with the Model Y. All right, let's get rolling here. Traffic clear enough. We got a green light. I'm gonna throw it on some acceleration. Really nice, smooth acceleration, as you'd expect. Oh, and I just activated the wipers, so already I'm having to adjust from the Model 3 refresh, which is funny because I drive the older Model Ys a fair amount, so my body is just attuned to this being an upgraded Model 3 rather than a Model Y. Obviously you've got the lights, you've got the additional speaker and the grille down here. Again, I went for the steering wheel to use the indicator first, and that was not right. This new indicator, from like just using it, it feels very good. It's very, very solid. But looking at it, it does look very cheap. I don't like how thin and almost glossy it looks. It's got a little bit of a matte finish, but it almost looks glossy. But everything else, it feels like a Tesla. Rear visibility is one thing I wanted to check on this one, and it does have that more notch, kind of like hard angles to the rear glass. When you're looking at it, it does maybe have a little bit more visibility, but it's pretty similar to the old Model Y. I would say it's almost the same. It might be the same looking out the back. Overall, the materials, yeah, I mean, it feels like a Model Y. I've got rear lumbar support, lumbar support. Do you have lumbar support on your own? I don't believe you do.
I don't believe I do.
Yeah. So obviously got the motorized seats. You've got pretty much the identical center console here as the Highland. I'm noticing a little bit more padding to the headliner, which may help with sound deadening. I'm going to try to switch lanes quick enough over here to get on the highway real quick. And again, I used the wrong blinker. I'll stop mentioning that, but yeah, it's pretty funny that my mind just by default treats this like a refresh Model 3 with the blinker on the steering wheel, the indicator. So far driving it, it just feels like exactly what you'd expect. The Model 3, the old Model 3 to the new Model 3 is what I'm finding, at least from the interior, the Model Y to the refresh or new Model Y. Here we go from 0. Really nice smooth acceleration. Really quiet even at speed. One thing I often find with Model Ys is that the lower decibel, the bass, you really do hear it. And I hear road noise in this, but it's really well distributed. It's relatively quiet, and there's no like areas that are particularly loud. Like again, I do find in the older Model Y, bass audio is pretty loud. I mean, there's really not that much else to say. I'm finding that it just feels comfortable. I honestly think a lot of the other upgrades or improvements are more related to the second row, obviously with that rear screen, the automatic seats, which I will kind of splice in here. But yeah, overall, it feels very familiar. I don't really have much else to say. Yeah, it is the comparable Model 3 to Model Y upgrade, exactly as you expect. Aesthetically, I do think that this is a much better looking upgrade, or at least much more significant upgrade. The Model 3 Performance, however, is an exception. I think the Model 3 Performance is a really, really good looking front. And this one, I'm still kind of warming up to it. I think the rear looks like it's got that large section above the license plate, and then you've got that lower section for the license plate, which I don't love as much, but the front I really do love, and I love that they removed the T logo and put a light bar up there. So I think, honestly, I might just leave it there. I'm just going to look for anything else I wouldn't expect. Obviously, you've got the heated and cooled seats, which is a really nice upgrade. Oh, and this one has the oscillating fan, which I guess I should try. I'm going to try that out now and see. So it's just going from left to right, and it shows it really beautifully on the display. I can't think of when you'd want this other than maybe when you're car camping, which honestly, that's a pretty cool feature for car camping. And then I didn't get my seat to cool yet. I'm going to go ahead and cool my seat. We got bioweapon defense mode, something that the Model 3 doesn't have. Oh, and you can oscillate the left and the right separately, so that's kind of cool. They call it swing mode. And then let me see, is there anything like swing mode for the rear? Nope, just air conditioning controls. But I wouldn't have expected swing mode for the rear. It's pretty unnecessary. I don't actually see why they made swing mode. It just seems like a really like a nice to have, like cool that they could do it. And I wonder if they're going to roll it out to some of their other vehicles too. But anything else? I mean, I guess I said I was going to wrap up the video, but obviously I need to make sure I try out full self-driving. This does have the latest hardware, obviously, so we might as well try it. Let's start navigating back to Santana Row.
Now turn right onto West Heading Street.
We are not going to be turning right. We are in the left lane, the left turn lane, so let's see what it does with that. I'm going to go ahead and push the button in and see what it does here. So it says it's trying to make a right turn, but it can't. I'm going to have to take over just for safety. That was not the best place to initiate it. It might have been able to merge. I didn't even look. It just wasn't the right decision. So I'm going to take over.
In 500 feet, turn right onto Garden Drive.
I will now let it take back over and get us back to Santana Row. We've got a couple of turns here, and then I'll probably cut it before we get too far.
Now turn right onto Garden Drive.
Especially since the sun has now set. Nice and slow on that turn. We are in a residential area.
Now turn right onto University Way,
where the speed limit is 25, so nice and slow is the expected behavior. Yeah, I think one of the key things is just sound deadening.
500 feet, turn right onto North Bastion.
Speaking of sound deadening, I think that's one of the things I like most about the upgraded Model 3, and one of the main things to like about the upgraded Model Y is just it is a noticeably quieter vehicle. The design, slight upgrades, slight improvements. The Model 3 Performance, again, major improvements, and hopefully they do the same with the Model Y Performance. And after we get through this intersection, I'll probably cut it. Let's see, there's a Mercedes I'm kind of pushing in on, but that was the right thing to do as we make a left-hand turn here.
Now turn left onto West Heading Street.
All right, with that, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.